All right, let's get started. Today, I'm going to share with you the best balance transfer credit cards right now. You're not going to want to miss this. So you heard right. The balance transfer credit card is a special type of card that allows you to take a balance, like pre-existing credit card balances, and transfer it to a brand new other card and pay no interest during the introductory rate period. People would want to do something like this to avoid paying super high interest rates. It's also a really smart strategy if you have a large purchase coming up. I'll give you for example. Here in this garage, we actually insulated it, added an air conditioner and a furnace. This is now living space for us. And in doing things like buying the furniture or the flooring, I was able to put it on a card and then transfer that balance to another card and slowly pay it off methodically over time. As a result, I paid zero interest for these larger purchases. And on that first card that I used, I ended up actually getting a pretty decent amount of points. So as you can see, balance transfer credit cards are often overlooked. And I mentioned it before, but they're actually becoming a little bit more rare to find. I did a similar video to this just last year, and many of those offers don't exist yet. So if you're tuning in wondering if you're just going to hear the same old cards, the answer is no. And a lot of the cards might be from banks that you're a little less familiar with. Also, I just want to make one thing clear. In order to successfully transfer a balance, you do have to do it from one bank to a different bank. So for example, if you have a balance with Chase, you might be able to transfer it to Wells Fargo. Or if you have a balance with Wells Fargo, you might be able to transfer it to Chase if they're actually offering a card that has balance transfers. You see, the key is to use two different banks. Those are just the rules. And you do have to find a balance transfer offer that is something you think would actually benefit you. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Here's the first card. It's the US Bank Visa Platinum card. Now, if you're not familiar with US Bank, it has been around for centuries. They are a Fortune 500 company. And the US Bank Visa Platinum card is a card I look at like one that could help you get your life in order, financially speaking. With everything that's been going on in the economy, having a year or two of paying no interest and just getting your feet on the ground, getting your head above water is something that I think everybody could seriously consider. And especially if you are someone that has a small business or side hustle, a card like this could allow you a little bit of runway to, again, keep the lights on and keep things moving forward. That's because this card offers 20 billing cycles of a 0% APR introductory rate. Now, to be clear, yes, we are talking about balance transfers, but it also offers it on purchases as well. Now, there's no annual fee, so just picture this. You sign up for this card and you take a look at some of the other outstanding debts that you may or may not have, and you transfer them onto this new US Bank card. You then have 20 months, so you can basically just divide it by 20 to pay off those balances. If along the way you need to make some upgrades or you need to purchase some supplies for that small business, yes, you can put it on the card, and again, you have zero interest. So you just need to think and have the mentality that you are going to pay off this balance within the first 20 billing cycles. During a one-on-one consultation call just this past weekend, we were talking about how it's difficult to get capital for small business owners. And if you're a sole proprietor, if you are your own business, a card like this could be extremely valuable. Now, there's two things we're going to talk about with all three cards. It's going to be balance transfer fees and the credit score required. Unfortunately, gone are the days where you might be able to track down a few different cards that have a 0% balance transfer fee. Instead, about 3% is the industry standard, and that's what's on this card as well. Specifically, it is 3% or $5, whichever is greater, and that introductory balance transfer rate is on balance transfers made within the first 60 days of opening up the card. US Bank does require a good to excellent credit score, so I've seen data points from 670, but it would be preferably better if you could be closer to a 720. I'm going to leave a link down below in the description of this video for all the cards that I mentioned, so be sure to check it out. Up next is the Wells Fargo Platinum Visa card. When I first started doing my research, I actually thought that this card was going to be the front runner for longest 0% APR for balance transfers. And that's because it's at 18 months. So it's just a few months behind that US bank card. But there are a few other features of this card that might be interesting to you. So let's dive right in. Specifically, the intro APR offer for balance transfers is actually for the first 120 days of that card opening. So just imagine having the flexibility to actually think about and deliberately make those balance transfers to consolidate debt onto one card that has a 0% introductory rate on those balance transfers for 18 months. In addition, that 0% APR is also available on new purchases. So I could picture someone with balances here, a little balance here, a little balance over there, and just transferring it all onto this card, in addition to using this card over the course of about a year and a half, simply to consolidate debt and pay things off. Interestingly enough, there's also cell phone protection that's both against theft and damage of up to $600. Now, I know a lot of other credit cards or even the phone companies sometimes offer this, so you have to decide if that's something that you would actually take advantage of. In terms of balance transfer fees, there's that same industry standard 3% or $5, whichever is greater. And again, this card requires excellent to good credit, so you should be looking for something right around 690 or higher. If you're somebody who's looking to boost their credit score, if these numbers seem a little high for you, I have a blog post on my website all about how to boost that credit score, and I'll leave a link down below to that in the description. And the next card I want to mention is the Simmons Visa. This is issued from a bank that started in Arkansas in the early 1900s. If you've never heard of it, they're actually a pretty large bank down south. I think they're spread across about 7 states now. And if Reliance Bank or Liberty Bank sounds familiar to you, over the past few years, Simmons has acquired those banks. It has that community lender style feel, except they manage billions of dollars. I look at the Simmons Visa as a card that anyone who's a little bit more advanced in this credit card world would want to consider. For example, if you've already opened up cards with some of the other major banks, maybe you're above 524. This card actually won Card Ratings' Best Balance Transfer Card for specific reasons too. Not only do you get the 0% introductory APR for the first 18 months, they also give you an extremely low APR if you ever had to carry a balance. As of this recording, it's at 8.25%. Of course, you never want to have to carry a balance month to month, but it is very intriguing to apply for a card that has an extremely low rate compared to all of the other larger lenders. There is a 3% fee for those balance transfers in the first 60 days or a $10 charge, whatever's greater. Again, this is a card I would specifically consider for balance transfers a little bit later in my credit card journey, simply because I've gotten other cards before. So put it on your radar, it's on mine, and let's recap. The US Bank Visa Platinum is a card I think everyone should consider for the purposes of balance transfers. I'm especially talking to you, my small business owners, my solo entrepreneurs, people with a side hustle. If you need access to capital, maybe you're remodeling a kitchen, maybe you just need to buy supplies, you know that they're going to be sold, but you're not going to collect on the invoice for a few months. This would be the card for you to carry that balance, to float it without paying any interest. The Wells Fargo Platinum card, again, has a great promotional offer. This one is, again, going to be those 18 months of 0% balance transfer APR, but it also gives you a window of 120 days to make those balance transfers. So you could use this one as some sort of major blueprint card where you're going to get rid of this credit card debt, zero all these other ones out, and put them onto here, and then pay it off after 18 months. And of course, the newcomer to the list is the Simmons Visa. Consider this one if you have excellent credit and you're looking for a card with a low APR that you know you're going to need access to in the near future. All right, don't forget to like this video, and if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. Don't forget to check out my website. It is full of podcasts. Yes, I have a podcast, blog posts, and other videos, so check it out. All right, as always, I'm Rich, and until next time.